Hi Noisettes! Have you subscribed to our channel yet? If not, you can hit the little button in the bottom right hand side of the screen anytime during the video, and remember to click on the bell icon too so that you get notifications when each new video is available. So here we are for yet another Monday morning reading. How was your weekend? Did you find some time to relax and reflect? Are your plans in place for moving forward? Maybe you still need a bit of inspiration. Well, let's see what comes up today. And if you missed the weekend reading, we'll pop the link at the end of this video. So today, as usual, we're using the Green Witch Tarot deck by Ann Moura. Fingers crossed for a really positive week. Here goes. The first card is the Eight of Chalices. Well, we're looking at emotions or relationships then. The second card is Four of Pentacles, material possessions. So let's see what the final card is. The final card is the Eight of Wands, career and ventures. Okay, so those, these. There we go. So it's an interesting combination, and there's nothing from the major arcana, so no dramatic energies this week, thank goodness. But there's definitely a bit more information about the changes that we've talked about previously. So let's see what we've got. In the Eight of Chalices, we see a man who has left his castle behind, and he's walking away from his neatly stacked chalices along a beach with a staff in his hand and some parchment scrolls in his bag. There is a cormorant here sitting on the vines, and the man seems to be pondering something. This card is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it speaks of leaving something behind, yet also, at the same time, moving forwards to a new place. When we leave something behind, whether it's a relationship, a home, a job or whatever, then there's always a sense of loss, sometimes grief too. You might actually be happy to be leaving something behind. Maybe it's been a difficult part of your life, or something that's been holding you back for some time, and you're relieved to finally be able to draw a line under it. But even so, that period of your life is coming to an end, and as a result, you might be feeling some level of melancholy or nostalgia, despite being generally positive about the whole thing. Alternatively, this might not be a happy parting for you. Maybe it wasn't really your choice. Maybe your hand or the hand of fate has been dealt for you. In this case, you're likely to be finding the whole thing a real challenge. Saying goodbye to loved ones or previously happy situations and striking out anew can be hugely daunting and upsetting, even heartbreaking, one might say. But, as we said, this card has two aspects to it, and apart from leaving something behind, it also represents a journey, moving forwards to something new. This could be a physical journey where perhaps you're having to leave behind your friends, your family or your work colleagues, or it could indicate a more spiritual journey. Yes, of course, the future might be uncertain at the moment, and the way ahead may be paved with unknowns, but there's a sense of closure from the past that's going to drive you forward to the next stage of life's journey, and this is something to look forward to. In your heart, you know it's time to move on. So the Four of Pentacles shows an affluent looking man who is removing his pentacles from the wall. His pentacles are an obvious sign of his wealth, so he's removing them from the wall whilst an older and considerably poorer man peers through the window. There's a little tortoise here in the bowl, and there's some nettles by the door there. So this card can often represent someone who is acting selfishly or greedily, hiding things away and keeping them to themselves so they don't have to share them with anybody else. These don't have to be physical things either. It can simply be saying that you're not available to spend time with someone just because you'd rather chill in front of the TV and veg out all week. But this card can also be about protecting your own interests, looking after number one. Life is so busy, and we can often find ourselves rushing around like headless chickens, helping everyone else out, and then finding that actually we don't have any time left to do what we would have liked to have done. How many plates are you spinning at the moment? How many balls are you juggling? If you don't protect yourself, eventually something is going to fall or you're going to crack. Protecting yourself physically and mentally is sometimes the right thing to do, and this card gives you the permission to do it. So on to the Eight of Wands, and we can see here the young woman kneels on a mat, and she seems to be trimming and arranging some flowers. She has arranged her wands around her as she sits in the clearing in the forest, and there's a little songbird there who is watching her as she works. There's a sense of peace and serenity with this card, having time out to be alone and to do something enjoyable. You might be occupied with a task that you enjoy, or if this is work related, it might simply indicate that you're happy in your work. The woman is very organised. She has her wands all around her, and the plants are all cut to the same length, ready to be bundled together into small posies. This suggests putting plans in place and tying up loose ends. So maybe you're planning a move in your job, either to a different workplace entirely, or maybe you're being promoted at your current place of work. If you're not a worker, this might relate to the issues raised in the Eight of Chalices, a change of home, relationship, status, and so on. In any case, this is actually a card of positive energy. It's a card of action and preparedness. And there's also some indication of potential prosperity as a result. So what are these cards telling us overall then? Well, thinking about our weekend reading last week where we talked about major influences and major change on the horizon, this week's cards do seem to confirm that idea of momentous change, and they give us even more insight into what these changes might hold for us. The things to remember and to hold on to when the going gets tough is that first of all, you have to protect yourself. This might be especially important if you feel as if your whole world is crumbling around you at the moment. The second thing to remember is that your journey isn't over, and what you're going to, your future, is going to be better eventually. Finally, there are some loose ends to tie up and plans to put into place before you can put the wheels in motion to set you on that road to your new and exciting adventure. As we've said before, change is difficult for many people, especially if it's not what we'd planned for ourselves, but do try to stay positive. If you think a personal reading might help you to clarify some issues in your mind, then please get in touch. Personal readings can be ordered directly from our Etsy store, and you can find the link in the description below the video. If you have any questions or comments about our reading, just pop them in the comments below. We do hope you have a good week, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again on Friday.